What is up, guys? This is your boy FightNightsFinest, the Sophie commentator, bringing you guys online world championship match number 11. This is a head-to-head bout. This is a heavyweight bout, excuse me, in the OWC division with my fighter Jasil Daniels, going with the 88 overall against an 89 overall. Unfortunately, that got cut off in the beginning of the recording. But this is not really too much on the fight, even though I will get to that in probably later on in the commentary. But it's basically, I just want to talk to you guys about spammers and sidesteps spammers as well. I guess you can call them a sidestep spammer. You got the straights. Well, let's break it down. There's two different types of spammers. You got the sidestep spammers. Those are the guys who constantly sidestep to their right and throw an uppercut, or they'll constantly throw a hook, or they will throw some type of punch every time they sidestep. Then you got the backstep spammers, the guys who backstep straight that you'll see in this video. He wasn't spamming it, but he pretty much had to do it in order to stop my step in right uppercut left hook combination, which you're gonna see throughout the video. Catches him quite a few times, and it becomes a real problem for him to deal with. But then you got the backstep straight spammers, as I stated, the sidestep right uppercut spammers. Then you got just the straight hand spammers, who just spam the triangle button, I believe it's the Y button on Xbox, just to keep throwing the straight all game. And then in the head-to-head division, you got the Mike Tyson spammers, who constantly just spams straights and hooks or uppercuts every single time they go to throw a punch, and it has to be with the right hand. So these are the different types of spammers that's in the game. And I know you guys are probably wondering why I decided to talk about this topic. It's a major issue, for one, and two, there's always a reason why a person does what they do. If you ask a fisherman why he fishes, it's because, well, I don't know why he fishes, but you guys get the point. For example, if you ask a person, why do you go to school? There's different responses, and that question came from something I heard in class today, where the teacher asked us, since it's a new semester, you know, why did we come to school? And the answers varied quite much. Mine was because, you know, my mother wants me to go to school, and I respect my mother, so therefore I go to school. Other people were afraid of, you know, ACS or getting taken by child services. You know, there was so many different answers and retrospects as to why people went to school, and I found that to be really, really interesting. That some people don't go to school for their own benefit, or they don't go because of just to better themselves. I don't like school. In particular, I get pretty good grades, but I'm not a fan of school. I'd rather teach other things. I like history, but that's really off the subject. So, you know, it really made me bring up a question when I went to do a commentary today, and that was why do these guys spam? Why do these guys spam the sidestep right uppercuts? Why do these people exploit the game? Why do they spam the straights? You know, this question, all these questions based on these spammers and, you know, cheap ways of winning really popped into my head. And previously I was gonna do a video discussing, showing you guys how easy it is to do these type of things, because I fought 3 different fights, setting up as 3 different types of spammers, with the sidestep right uppercut spammers, with the southpaw on the cross block. Then I was a Philly shell spammer who spams the backstep straight. And then in another video that I recorded, I just spammed everything with the 1-2 spams. I forgot to mention those guys earlier, but the 1-2 spams, the sidestep right uppercuts, the backstep straight, power straights, and sidestep straights, everything. I had to put it all together in one video. And then, you know, the other day I came across a spammer, and, you know, I beat the crap out of him, and I asked him, you know, why is it that you spam? And he was kind enough to reply to me. He said that's because that is what works, and that is the only way to earn victories online. So I messaged him back and I said, well, I just beat you without doing any of those things. And he says, well, that's what I know how to do, and if somebody taught me something else, maybe I want to spam. And so I found that to be an interesting reply, and, you know, it really just brings the thought to you of what you're exposed to really influences how you do things. You hear in the game they talk about how different fighters are influenced by their geography, excuse me. And that really struck me because, you know, it's the same thing with language. We'll take that as an example. You speak English, for example, because when you're growing up and your parents speak English, that's what you know how to speak. That's what you're exposed to. If you're exposed to constant violence, this theory that, you know, you'll be abusive if your father abuses your mother or something along those lines. And it's crazy how your influencement, even on a video game, causes you to alter your gameplay, alter your type of what you want to do. Anybody when they buy a game has a certain style that they like to play, or something that they see that they want to probably imitate, or want to develop something special. And 9 times out of 10, people get away from that because they realize what they thought or their theory didn't work, and there was something else that was more effective. So then they take on this thing that they see. So back to language. If you have English and Spanish parents, you know, who speak both languages, and they talk to you in Spanish and English, then you'll be able to talk in both languages, because you got to understand these different languages in order to maybe get what you want, ask a certain question. You know, just so many different ways you can relate to these people, and how you be able to communicate with these people is through these 2 different languages. And so it's important that the Fight Night community, and, you know, what we learn is what we basically expose people to is solid, good gameplays of good, solid boxing, good sim-like techniques, because that's the way that you should fight on this game. You shouldn't have to sidestep spam or sidestep straight spam, any of those type of things I listed earlier. You shouldn't have to do those type of things. So I was thinking, you know, I will release some tutorial guides like I had planned in the beginning of my YouTube career. When I reached 50 subs, I was going to do an inside fighter tutorial, basically break down how to move in on your opponent, show you guys different clips, you know, post everything in one thing, and it'll be a guide and a tutorial of how you guys can fight. It's just like if you play Madden, they have offensive and defensive schemes where you alter different plays, or you get a good selected plays out of a good formation, and then you go ahead and you take these plays, you alter them against zone and man coverage. So we should do, as a Fight Night community, if you guys got any experience, these are the type of videos and just the type of gameplays we should be fighting in order to eliminate these type of things. And if we can show it's effective, people will start to alter their game plan from a sidestep spammer to maybe a pure infighter like you guys see me doing here. Now I am using the sidestep right uppercut, but I rarely do it. Now I do a step in uppercut, or I just might throw a regular uppercut, or I might jab my way to the inside like you see there. You know, there's these different techniques that's very effective that most people just don't know how to do, and it's maybe they might try it, but they probably get destroyed doing it once, and then all of a sudden then they just pretty much disappear from it afterwards. Then they don't want to do it. Then, you know, their influence, they get discouraged basically, because they already seen what could possibly work and how effective it works, and then all of a sudden then they don't feel like switching up because they've already been exposed to it. But I'm pretty sure if we can create something, or we can expose people to a certain style of gameplay, people might get different ideas and might alter these gameplays into their own way. And that's pretty much my whole goal in YouTube, is to get people to stop spamming, you know, to grow the community as we're doing now. But the goal I have right now is to pretty much expose these players into a different style of fighting, a good solid style of inside fighting, or a good solid style of outside fighting, or maybe you just want to box with a guy. You can easily do that on this game. I can teach you guys any style of the game. I know how to fight all solid styles, whether it's a counter punching style, inside fighting style, outside fighting style, a brawler, a slugger. So many different ways you can play this game other than doing what the game does and caters to outside fighters and guys who may be overly aggressive with OP characters like Isaac Frost and Mike Tyson. There's so many different ways you guys can play this game than just exploiting it. And you guys see it on my channel all the time. I'm not an exploiter of the game. I will never be one. You know, that's just something I thought I would share with you guys. It's you know, the theory behind why these people do what they do. With a little bit of factual evidence. So right here, now it's round 5, and you know, to me his footwork is getting a bit slower. I really feel like, you know, I controlled my stamina well. I didn't go crazy in the beginning of the rounds, even though I saw how lackadaisical his defense was and how easily I can hit him. He has made some adjustments by throwing side stepping back whenever I went for the left hook, whenever I stepped in and threw the right uppercut. Just by that, I had to switch tactics of how I can basically fight. I couldn't go in there with that type of move anymore because he figured out a counter towards it. So now you guys might see me just do like one side step in and then throw an uppercut, or maybe uppercut. Uppercut. Can't wait to see the comments on that. But maybe I just came in with a jab, then I'll come in with a straight to the body. I came in with some type of body attack, some type of punch just to get me into the inside. And you know, I used the ring very, very effectively. I didn't just stand in one spot. I didn't just look for a single punch. I figured out different ways and moved in different angles so I can hit my opponent. And you know, then I inside fight with the guy through those nice small compact punches, no crazy power punches like he was doing. You know, I took my counter opportunities when they presented itself, and you know, I countered coming forward, I countered going backwards. You know, I knew when to get into range, when not to get into range, when to pick my shots, and when to move my head. And this is a solid example of you don't need to spam. You guys see him spamming pretty much that right hand. He's just basically throwing the straight or throwing power shots, and right now it's not working for him. And right there at the end of the round, I don't even know why I taunted him. I just fought this fight out in the middle of me doing this commentary, but I pretty don't know why I taunted him. And just to see there's effective ways to get into the inside, you know, how to split through an opponent's defense, you know, when to pick their shot, when to go upstairs and when to go downstairs. And just picking your shots is such an important element of this game that just seems like a lost art sometimes, where everybody feels in order to win I gotta sidestep right uppercut, or I gotta throw straight to the head constantly with the back step or the power straight. And you know, that's not true. As we drop him right there, and you guys know what time it is. Get your chin checked. Hit him with a beautiful left uppercut and drop him on the canvas for the first time. Just taking our time, you know, waiting for him to wear himself out by all the punches he's missing, keeping a good solid guard up, looking for the nice counter shots to the body and to the head. And you know, just pretty much picking our shots, which is what I explained to you guys earlier. So we come back up. And you know, now I decide to be just a tad bit more aggressive than I was, trying to come forward a lot more, because now I know he's at the power disadvantage. His health is drained, you know, his stamina isn't too good. It's probably about halfway, I'm thinking at this point, probably in like the 50 or 60 percentile. And I figure that, you know, if I be a bit more aggressive and I throw a lot more punches, I'll hurt him a little more, drop his health down, and then I'll be able to take this fight into the next round or finish him in this round. And that's pretty much what ends up happening. As you can see here, he's getting hit by 5-6 punch combinations, and somebody please teach this man some defense. As we drop him again with another right uppercut that's just been killing him all fight, and we end up knocking him down for the second time. And I'm sorry, son, we're gonna say it again. Get your chin checked for the second time in the fight. Come down to the count of 2, and he's unable to get up as we reach the count of 5. Hope you guys really enjoyed watching this video, and you know, leave your feedback in the comments. I really want to hear your theories behind why people spam, you know, some solutions that we can do in order to prevent this. This is your boy Kid Ray 8, aka FightNightsFinest, the Sofa commentator, signing off.
The beast's fitting end to a very strong night for him.